Hello everyone and welcome back to Kim's Cozy Corner. Today is setting up to be a hot day and the first day of many hot days above 95 degrees. So we're going to get out here and we're going to harvest some root crops. This is day one, or should I say video one, of root crops being harvested. And today we're going to focus on this elevated raised bed. Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I live in Southwest Ohio. I live in zone 6B, and we've had probably one of the coolest, consistently cool springs that we've had on records. So my spring or cool season crops have lasted longer than they ever have in the past. But now, y'all, it's time for us to start getting some of this stuff out and start succession planning for the spring crops. Now I got some spring crops in the main garden, of course I do, but it's time to get these out so I can put some other things in this bed as well. Now in this space right here on my patio, what I like most about this space on this patio, it gets some super early morning sun. It's protected most of the day when the sun is directly overhead, and then it gets sun in the evening. So I can grow cool season crops in this space longer than anywhere else in the garden. As we harvest some of the cool season crops from here, I am going to replace them with some more cool season crops, and we're going to see if we can kind of push the limits of how long I can grow cool season crops in this space. But before I can replant, I got to get this first round of root crops out of this bed. So today we are only going to focus on root crops in this bed. And then the next video, y'all, we're going to focus on potatoes. But for now, let's get over here to this bed. So let's talk about what's in here. I have carrots on this back side right here. I have radish. I have beets and turnip over here. And then down on this end, I'm growing turnips, but I'm not growing it for the turnips. I'm growing it for the greens. And then down here, I have more greens. These are rape greens, and we're still harvesting off of those. And then I have carrots down here on the end. Now, we're not going to touch these greens or these greens right here. I'm hoping to get one more harvest of mixed greens at a minimum off of this space over here. We're not going to touch these carrots down here because they're just not ready yet. This is the area that we're going to focus on today. Beets, carrots, and radish back here. This right here, y'all, was, it was like a baby bok choy. That's what it was. A bok choy, and it was little baby heads of bok choy that I didn't harvest. They've gone completely to seeds. These are seed pods right here. So I could let this keep growing and I could harvest the seeds so I could have more seeds to plant. But that's not the plan today, y'all. We're gonna just rip those out so we can put something else in these spots. So it's rained pretty much off and on all day yesterday. Not heavy rain, but rain nonetheless. So everything over here is super, super wet. So it's gonna be super, super dirty, but that's okay, y'all. We're gonna get it out of here anyway. I got my little harvest basket right here so we can get all of the things that we're talking about getting today. And y'all, it's the morning, but y'all, it's hot already. So this heat wave that's coming, y'all, it's practically already here for us. So here's one of my little baby radishes. That's what we're working on first. And I don't have many that actually made a head, but there are a few. And believe it or not, y'all, I am still eating radish that I harvested about a month ago. They haven't gone bad at all. They're still in the refrigerator. We got them cut up and we're using them in different salads and other dishes and just eating them with some dressing, that kind of stuff. But there are 3 more. We will get the ones that are decent, and then we're going to call it good because, y'all, we don't like radish, even though we're eating them. It's not one of our favorite vegetables, but I'm learning that I like it a little better than I thought I did. And this is actually the second round of radish over here. And it looks like I didn't get a full, I mean, I could have left these in here. They could have kept growing, but y'all, I need the space because the one thing that I don't have is lettuce, and that's the cool season crop I need to continue producing as long as I can. You know, when lettuce does not produce when it's super hot. It just won't do that. It can't stand that heat, y'all. So I'm hoping I can use this little space over here and grow lettuce a little longer. So none of these made it. Nope, none of these made it. Well, they were trying to make it. I just don't have time to wait on them. I'm putting them in here so we can get them to the compost pile, y'all. So right here is where that little baby bok choy was supposed to grow and didn't. So we're going to clean it all out, get it out of here and out the way. Again, that's another one of those vegetables that, you know, we eat it, but it's not our favorite. So we got these first two spots cleaned out. Let me get my labels out. And yes, I recycle my labels. Well, we got those two spots clean, and we're going to keep moving down. So the next spot here are my carrots. Now, I planted these carrots a while ago. So if I look back into my seed starting journal, here's the date of when I started these carrots. And I've harvested 2 or 3 so far. Oops, missed one. I've harvested 2 or 3 so far and let Buttons enjoy them. So my little farm dog loves carrots and green beans and cucumbers and collards. Yeah, she loves a lot of vegetables, so that's a good thing. Anyway, I harvested them for her, and now we're going to harvest for us. Let's see what we got. In the back here, this is Rolanka. This is my storage carrot, hopefully. There's a nice one. Oops. That's a pretty carrot. It's nice and straight. It was still growing. I probably could have grew it even longer, but I want this space. But look at that, a nice straight Rolanka carrot. Let's see how many more we're gonna get. Now I did have some of my carrots get pulled up early on and I replanted them to try to get more carrots in this space. So we'll see how many we get. And if they're looking like this, where they all wonky, we might not be getting too many, but I got carrots growing everywhere, y'all. Everywhere. And some of these will not be ready, but I need the space. Ooh, look at that one. She's pretty. Okay, let me finish getting all of these carrots. Even the little baby ones that did the weird split thing at the bottom. We'll take them all. The little ones like that, y'all, I'm gonna save them for Buttons, but I'm not gonna worry about trying to eat those. Yeah, the squirrels and I started fighting early on in this space here. And y'all, I know there's a lot of dirt, y'all, because it's wet out here. It's super, super wet. But I prefer to be out here now when it's only 80 degrees versus being out here when it's 95, because that's what's coming, y'all. So I'll just deal with a little dirt. These are called button carrots. I planted this space using the square foot garden method, which is typically how I plant up my raised beds, this elevated raised bed. If I'm growing in the ground, that's typically how I plant. I usually put, you know, whatever it says, and I think it's 16 carrots per square foot. And then I don't have to thin them out if I do it that way, which I don't always do, but I try. I try to kind of stick to that, y'all. We're gonna have a lot of dirt on me today. All right, y'all, this is one square. 1 square right here of carrots. That's it. 1 square of carrots. They're not perfect, but they're still mine. And here's my 1 square of radish, but they're still mine. 1 square. So I got 1 more square of carrots to get, and then we're going to move over, and I think there are 4 squares of different types of beets. In this square over here, these are Shin carrots, which is a different type of carrot. It's the first year I've ever grown them. And they don't get as big as the Rolanka. Okay, here's an example. Short, fat, and stubby. There's 3 of them, short, fat, and stubby. So that might just be all we get out of those. We'll see. And I don't have that many of them over here because that's the square that got dug up, y'all. That's it. That's all she wrote. So the first square wasn't as productive, or this square wasn't as productive as the first square, I should be trying to say. So second batch of carrots, not so great, but it's still more than I started with, y'all. So I will take it. I only got, 5 out of 16 from that first square, but I think is the type of carrot. I mean, look, Rolanka. And then the other one, what did I just say? Shin is just a different type of carrot. Rolanka, storage carrot. I might give all of these to Buttons and keep these for myself. I prefer to give my little farm dog fresh snacks versus letting the dog eat all that processed stuff. All right, we're moving on down. Now, y'all, this next section is supposed to be for me to find a way to enjoy beets. I don't like red beets. They taste like dirt. But there are other beets out there that's supposed to be sugary sweet, and I found a few varieties that we're going to try this year. So the first beet that we're going to harvest is called, let me find the tag, a golden beet. A golden beet is what it's called. So let's see how we do with a golden beet. I have no idea what the real size should be. They're definitely done, y'all. They've been in here a long time. But there's 1 golden beet right there. Oh, y'all, I almost waited too long. Some of the tops of these are not happy. But there's 3 golden beets. And y'all, I'll probably cook them all at the same time. I'm going to roast them the way that I had them the one time that I did have them and I liked them. And we'll see if they taste as good for me as they did when I had the chef cook them for me. Yeah, y'all, I think I was letting these stay a little long. And I've been super busy, so I can't be mad. It's not like I'm sitting around not doing anything. I'm sitting around taking care of other things that need to be taken care of. So there's my 1 square of beets. Golden beets is what it's called. Quite dirty. With all the rain, I'm sorry, you can't really see them from all the dirt, but this is what we got. Oh, there's another one. Those are the golden beets. Now we'll put them all out here so everybody can see everything I've harvested. So we'll come back and show you everything. The next beet that we're going to harvest is called Albino beet, is what it's called. Now I know I got beets here, y'all, because I've been looking at them. There's one right there. This is a white beet. There it is. Okay. Now these I know got pretty big because I've been looking at them. And I also heard that you can eat beet leaves. I've never tried them. Once I get these cleaned up, I might have to give them a taste and see how good they really taste. We'll have to see. I just flicked dirt in my eye. All right, we're gonna take these out. We're gonna call these good. So albino beets and golden beets. So different types of beets. Now I got one more. You're gonna think I've been rolling in the mud by the time I'm finished. I have one more type of beet down here, y'all, and I don't think I should do anything with them because they're too small. There's nothing here to even harvest. They're called the white sun, winter sun. It's called the winter sun beet. And y'all, they're, well, I can't do it, y'all. I can't harvest those. They're way too tiny. I'll harvest this one just so I can show it to you. That's winter sun. But the rest of them are smaller than this. And so I'm going to leave them in here. I'm not going to take that. I'm not going to take that group. We're going to leave that group in here, but we'll take the one. And y'all, this winter sun looks just like my golden beet. It looks identical. You can't even tell the difference. But anyway, let me show you everything that I'm harvesting. Okay, y'all, from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares. And I had 2 squares that didn't, 3 squares, excuse me, 3 squares that didn't produce. So let's say out of 3 squares, this is what we harvested. I have carrots, 2 different varieties. And I know it's dirty, y'all. I'm sorry, and I'm filthy already. But we have carrots. We have just a handful of radish. I have my albino beets. And I have my golden beets. So I think this is a good harvest of root crops for a very wet morning, a very hot, humid, wet morning in June. So we'll take it. So let's get these out the way and let's get these beds replanted. Now I am going to rinse all of these off. All of these are going to get rinsed off before they go indoors. There is no way I'm going to take in this much dirt. That's just not going to happen, y'all. Oh, hi, Miss Ladybug. You was down there resting? So ladybugs are friends of the garden. Don't ever hurt your ladybugs. Just relocate them if you have to. The ladybugs eats those things that you don't want in the garden, like your aphids and your mites and all of that kind of stuff. And y'all, in the past, I have purchased ladybugs and released them in my garden. I've purchased ladybugs 2 or 3 years in a row. I haven't done it for a few years now, but released them into the garden to help with some of the bugs and stuff. And I tell you, the years that I did that, that was some of the best years I've ever had. I didn't have to like spray. I didn't have to treat. I mean, we were just in a good spot. All right, this is where we're going to be working, y'all. This is 6 squares. In all 6 of these squares, y'all, we're going to put different types of lettuce. I don't even know how many varieties I have over there, but I got my name tags all made up for them. They're ready to go. I'm going to give this part of the bed a granular fertilizer. There's the middle of the bed right there. You see my little pole? That's how I'm separating the bed. I'm not gonna, well, I don't know. I might put these back in. We'll see. So I can keep, I will. After I get it all made up, I'll put them back in so I can keep separated which lettuce are in which spots. But we're gonna give it a general fertilizer. I'm just sprinkling it in, y'all. I'm using Dr. Earth. There are others out there. Single digit general fertilizer. We're going to mix it in the top 2 or 3 inches to replace some of the nutrients that the previous residents used up. There it is, nice and clean, ready to receive something else. I'm going to put my little markers back in here to kind of divide this into 3 spots. Or I should say 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 spots, right? Using the square foot garden method is what we're trying to do. Let me level my soil out a little better. Now we're ready to push the limits, y'all, because one of the things I said I wanted to do is put more lettuce in here. And I have several to choose from. Let's see which ones we're going to choose. And some lettuce are better for late spring, early summer than others, because they're either bred or just in general, they can handle heat better. So one of the ones that we're going to do is this heat wave blend. Here's a picture of the heat wave blend. There are 6 different varieties in there, y'all. There's Lala Rosa, which I love, and I usually plant Lala Rosa by itself. It has a royal oak leaf, black seeded Simpson, Little Caesar, and a matchless butterhead, salad bowl. So some of these I usually grow by themselves, but this is a mix. And we can harvest in 45 to 80 days. Now, I don't think I'm going to have that long because, like I said, it's going to be 95 plus here for the next 7 days. And then it should cool back down. That's not normal temperature for early July for us. Well, it has been for the last few years, but it's not supposed to be. So for this one, we are going to broadcast it because it's a blend. So we're going to have a square of broadcasted. I think I got another one. I do. I have what's called slow boat. This one is 45 to 55 days. And again, this can handle some of those warmer temperatures. Not necessarily as warm as we're getting, but we're going to try anyway. Slow boat loose leaf lettuce is what we're going to do. It's ideal for growing in southern regions with hot summers. So I'm hoping that we can get something off of slow boat. That's the only 2 that I have that's specifically supposed to be good for, you know, extending the season, right? Warmer months. So I got 2, so I can choose 4 more. I am going to do flashy buttered gem. Now, this is such a beautiful lettuce. I mean, I really, really love this lettuce. Now, it's 70 days to harvest. Now, it may come up and go straight to seed. I don't know, but you can start harvesting lettuce at any point. As always, at any point, lettuce, you can harvest it small as baby loose leaf, or you can get it larger like a romaine. So we're going to, with this one getting so large, I know it's going to go in one of the back areas. So we'll push it toward the back. Oh, you know what I haven't grown yet this year is an iceberg lettuce. So we are going to grow Pablo. There's Pablo. 55 days to harvest. I just think it's beautiful. It's a iceberg style or crisp head lettuce, but it's got those beautiful reds on the leaves. Y'all, here's a picture from last year where I grew it in the spring, and I went out into the garden and I took some pictures with little drops of water after the rain on them. They were beautiful pictures. Now, I had somebody say it wasn't my real backyard garden, that it was a park, but that came from my garden, y'all. So we are going to grow some Pablo. I only get 2 more, but I got 4 in my hand, y'all. Woof. All right, we're going to do Burgundy Delight. Here's a picture of it. It's a red lettuce, 30 to 65 days to harvest. So we can start harvesting this one early, y'all. It's supposed to be a dark, sweet, and it adds a colorful zing to the garden. And then one spot, y'all, one spot. Only got 1 spot. We're going to go with May Queen. May Queen is for the other spot. Wait a minute. Let me double check, see which one of these can handle the heat better. I don't think it matters. All right, May Queen it is. We're going to do May Queen, and we're going to put that one here. Okay, I got all 6 laid out. When it comes to lettuce and the square foot garden method, you can plant up to 4 heads per square. With the exception of this heat wave blend, I'm going to put 4. I'll probably put 2 in each spot though, to be honest with you. But I'm going to put 4 heads in each one of these squares. I got to take my gloves off to make this happen though. I can easily see that these seeds are mixed. There's a lot of different colored seeds in here. And remember, there's 6 different seeds we're going to broadcast. And I always plant too thick when I broadcast, y'all, and I know it. And then I'm going to have to come back and cover these up. So I'll grab some dirt from somewhere else and cover them up. Always follow the directions on your seed pack. And we're going to cover these seeds up 1/4 of an inch. Let me go ahead and grab the dirt for it now. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little dirt on top, grabbing it from another pocket. And I like to pat it in just a little bit. because when I water, y'all, I be throwing seeds everywhere and everything be on top of each other when I water. So there it is. Burgundy Delight is in. We're going to move over to Slow Boat. And for the rest of these, I'm going to put them all in first before I take care of them. Y'all have a guest to the garden. Little Buttons is out here. So we're cleaning her a carrot off so she can enjoy it. Okay, here we go. Let's have a carrot. There you go. Ah, here's your carrot. It might be too big for her to enjoy because she's so little, but there it is. So let's get the rest of these seeds in here. 4 per pocket, 1/4 inch deep. I'm saying pocket, y'all, but I mean square. 4 per square. All right. So I went back and I put 2 in each spot. It's so wet, y'all. Now, Slow Boat gets big as well. That's why we're putting it back here. We don't want it blocking and shading out the other pockets. I'm going to put 2 in every spot. And y'all, if we don't get any lettuce, y'all, there's no great loss. Each one of these packs have at least 500 seeds in it. This one got 1,000 seeds in it. So y'all, what did I lose? Absolutely nothing for 8 seeds if they don't germinate, right? Slow Boat's in. Now we're going to do the same all the way across. I'll bring you back when I'm done, y'all. All 6 pockets are planted out. And I really should water them in, but everything's already so wet because it's been raining. So I'm not going to worry about watering them in. We will do that at a later date, later time. I got my basket of dirty root crops. And here is on one side here, the weights of everything I harvested for this video here as we are pulling up root crops and replanting this space for succession planting. And y'all know I track the weights of everything. Last year we harvested well over 500 pounds of food for a family of 4, not to mention what I gave away that never got weighed. So we're going to do another check this year and see how we do as far as how much food we can produce in our space. So these weights are going in my seed starting journal. I got a place in the back to track the weights and all the harvests. And so this is one of many. But that's it for today. That's it for the #1 root crop harvest video. #2 is going to be potatoes, and it'll be coming up right after this video in the very near future. Until next time, and I hope you'll hang out with me again at Kim's Cozy Corner. Talk to you soon. Bye.